Hi, folks. Yeah. What just crossed my mind is a very, very true point, and I think I mentioned this before. I was listening to the song Everybody Changing by Keane, and yeah, just thinking spiritually it's criminal that you have people in church who really haven't changed. Not really. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, but there's been a tiny bit of change. Yeah, but there will be in every blinking person. A tiny bit, yeah. Because that's life. You change, you get older. There's always a bit of change. But, what happened to this new creation we're supposed to be seeing in people? What happened to that? Do we see that? No. No, of course we don't see that. No. 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 I say, that's horrendous. Well, people think they're doing so much. They do tea and coffee, they do that sort of stuff. But when they do the tea and coffee, they have an opportunity to do so much more. They did a Christmas thing. And they did a story where in the story, I think I did a video about it at the time. It was just so churchy. So they had an opportunity to do something that was just going to be wonderful, and yet, no. No, they weren't churchy. Because this is the point. You have, and this is why people don't understand that when I say people are of church, that it is actually possible to be of church. But when I say of church, it doesn't mean of God. Because of God is of God. Of church is not of God, which means of this world. Where the devil is the God of those people of church. Because of church is very much a religious, it's like a religious world church. Now, most of the churches are very much like the world. They're just a slightly religious version of the world. So doing tea and coffee, and you remember years ago they had community centres where they used to do tea and coffee, they used to do soup, and bread and soup or soup and cheese, like they do at this church. They used to do all that in community centres. Now community centres are all gone. Church now does that. But they think that because they're doing that, that's somehow serving the community. Well, not really, because most of the people that come in are members of the church anyway. You've got the person outside handing out tracts, and it's like, they've been doing that for 30, 40, 50, 60 blinking years. Has it made a difference? Not really, no. In some areas, yeah, but generally speaking, no. Because again, you hand them a tract, they come into a church and they see this dead church. This church that has no desire for God at all. No desire for God. Yeah, I say that's why when I go into church, it's horrendous. I don't go into church and think, oh, this is wonderful. I go into church thinking, how on earth do people think this is wonderful? I do not understand. Go back to when I was going into the church. Whether it was the Community Church of God or the River Church or the African Church, the Nigerian Church. Go back to videos where I was talking about their services. It was blinking horrendous. Seeing these people think that this was God. I understand why God doesn't want me anywhere near leadership right now. Well, because, yeah, people will get offended, yes. A lot of the people that are not of God would certainly leave church. Good. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. It'd be their choice, but I wouldn't tell them they can't come to church. But if they're left, okay, great. Not a problem at all. You're simply people that were getting in the way, and if you're not out the way, great. Maybe we can start moving forwards. So, but the world would soon start seeing God. Yeah. Well, as I say, I mean, a lot of people at the River Church weren't happy with the fact I was doing videos saying that Jeff Oakes had enough time. That he'd been there for 8 months. That was enough time to at least get people to understand the basics. And the fact there were people in the church who, that when the Queen died, they thought the church didn't have a head anymore. So, excuse me, they don't know that we're supposed to be the body and Christ is the head. How do they not know that? That is absolutely horrendous. That these people that have been in church 20, 30, 40 years do not know that basics. That basic point. They don't know that. They have no idea about prayer. They have no idea why we're supposed to pray and what prayer does. They don't know any of that. They don't know what in his name means. They don't know what the Lord said, that when he said, where two or more together, there am I also. Yeah, because again, they don't understand what he meant by two or more are there together. Two or more what? Because that's the point. Two or more what? Two or more people that are sons. It's not talking about baby Christians. It's talking about people that are mature. It's talking about people that have understanding of who they are and who God is. It's talking about people that know the nature of God and are walking out the nature of God. Why? Because Yeshua was doing that. So therefore, if you are a son, if you identify yourself as a son, if God identifies you as that, and you're walking that out, then obviously Yeshua is with you because you're doing what he was doing. Obviously not to the same degree because you're not him. But therefore, it's about understanding. Because when people say we're two or more people that go to church or just say the name Jesus are together, then he is there. I'm sorry, that's been proven to be wrong. Been proven. And then when people say amen, that God does that, again, that's been proven to be wrong. Because, no, when two or more people agree on one thing, that would be done. Yeah, but two or more people what? Who are those people supposed to be? When two or three people that are of God and do things according to the will of God and the way of God, agree on one thing, that should be done. Why? Because it's the will of God that they're agreeing on. Therefore, it will be done. People that have no idea about the will of God, it can't be done, can it? It's basic. Well, no, what I'm saying now isn't basic understanding of Christianity. It's basic understanding of sonship. But again, people that have been in the church for 20, 30, 40 years, they should have that now. They should know all of that. They should have that understanding, shouldn't they, really? But they don't. They don't. But they should. And as I say, Jeff Oakes had been in that church for over 8 months. He'd had plenty of time. Yeah, as someone who was a drummer as well, he had plenty of time to work with the worship group and help them to be better. Help them to understand what their job is. Oh, I've been around many different worship groups, and it's very, very rare that you find one that has any idea at all about what they're talking about. No, you won't find any. you will find none at all that really do understand what the job is, because obviously they think their job is to worship God in front of the people. No. A worship leader is supposed to do what? Lead you to worship in ways you never believed possible. That's the job of a worship leader, to lead you to worship in ways that you never believed was possible. But do they know that? Do they understand that? No. So, again, can you have worship like you should have if you don't understand what a worship leader's job is? Well, no, of course you can't. No. Oh, there's so much that is just, oh my God, really. Just terrible. Yeah. When people go into church, they should be embarrassed. They should be. When they look at what they see in church, they should be seriously embarrassed. They're not. They think that they're doing a good job. They think that what's happening there is good. That's something that God's going to have to convict them of. And when he does, those people of church are going to ignore that, because they won't believe that could possibly be of God, because they really think that God is telling them that they're doing a wonderful job. So therefore, if somebody's telling them they're doing a bad job, that can't possibly be God, can it? No. But those people of God, they're going to be in tears. They're going to be on their knees. They're going to be weeping. They're going to be wanting to be wearing sackcloth and ashes. Because they're going to come into an understanding of what's going on there. And as I say, to me, it's we are where we are. That's the truth of the matter. We are where we are, and but where we are is the starting place. That's the point. Where we are is the starting place. And we have to understand what it looks like, what it truly looks like. And why we are so far away from where we could and should be. Because we are. We are so far away from where we could and should be. Although, should. And again, could. Based on where people are, could they be in a better position where they are now? No. And actually, in absolute truth, should they be in a better position where they are now? No. We are where we are because of where we are. And we couldn't be in any better position than where we are right now. But as I say, it's not my concern. If God tells me he wants it to be my concern to go into a church and help that church, then okay, it will then be my concern. But right now it isn't, because it has been, and when it was a massive pain in the butt. It was a very unpleasant, not a very nice thing in any way, shape or form. And so, if God says he wants me to do that again, then I will. Yeah, that's the reality. I will. Because that's what you're going to do, isn't it, really? And that's the most important thing. Do according to the will of God, not according to the will of people. Yeah. I wish you well with that endeavour, because that's the point. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing according to the will of God, not according to the will of people. And that is an incredibly difficult thing to do. It's not easy, Because the reality when it comes down to it is, people are generally speaking a lot more demanding that their will is done than God is. They're louder. So but that's why for me, not being around these people is better for me, because I don't have to listen to it. I can just listen to God, and that's better for me. So there you go. I wish you well. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Be a blessing. Be blessed. Have a fantastic week. Bye bye.